what I heard was you're pretty smelly yourself. I know that's not what was said, but that's what I heard. That's what my brain wanted to hear. All right, let's start.
Let's start. Hello, everybody, and welcome. 2 out of the 3 of us are mostly sick. Leon is very sprightly. This is BREWDCAST. I am, as always, Bud Robinson. With us tonight is Leon Robinson. Say hi, Leon.
Hi, Leon.
Nothing matters. And Town Drunk is also with us tonight. How you doing?
Townderson. I'm alive.
Town historian.
I'm alive.
I think you're worse off than me.
We'll see. When is CM Punk gonna punch Seth Rollins in the face?
Oh.
It's hard to say.
He
Did he not do so yet?
He cut the same promo, but worse, that Hangman did. Having deja vu.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was worse. I did see it.
Did you see the cut up of that?
Yeah.
Like Botchamania did a side by side, and I was just like, oh wow.
It was.
I guess I've already seen this promo. I don't need to go seek it out.
I feel like it was Seth poking the bear. That's what I think it was. I was impressed. I was impressed personally. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. I didn't watch the whole thing of Raw when he was on, and it just seemed like, I think I put it in the chat, it just seemed like the walking around segments that you can do in SmackDown versus Raw, but you were CM Punk. Because he was just doing like, hey, look, there's that guy. Hey, look, there's that guy. I'm going to go talk to Adam Pearce. Whatever.
It's my favorite Kingston, Kofi.
Oh my God. So, I mean, whatever.
You're making me crazy.
He seems to be doing... He's like, I don't do that anymore. He seems to be doing good numbers for the E. Yay. And I hope that he can bring some guys up so that when the WWE actually gets rid of them, they can come over to AEW with a name. I love that shirt, by the way. I absolutely love it, and I'm sad that I don't have one. Maybe that will happen soon.
I was just demonstrating that my t-shirt order came in last week, Town.
Very nice. I like it.
Smile anyway.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, CM Punk's there. I don't know. Whatever.
He's there doing stuff and things.
All I'm saying is that he seems to be doing good things for them. That's it. And I hope I hope WWE does better things now that he's there, but we'll see.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 months.
Remember,
2 years.
In AEW, we had a lot of good time, and then everything just went to shit, just like that. So,
yes, but he views.
It was all good just a week ago.
It's super clear that he views AEW way differently than he does the E. I don't think that he. I don't know. I don't know what the hell he's going to do.
You know, part of me thinks that the thing he's most pissed off about is not that he got fired; it's that he didn't get to play out this incredibly huge storyline that was laid in front of him with Hangman of the Bucks. Like that would have been money.
I don't think he's wanted to be there for a year now. I think once they did once they started when Brawl Out happened, I think that's what he saw. He saw dollar signs because he wanted to do the Elite.
And no one else
Hangman.
did.
And no one else did.
And I think that was when he was done.
Which I totally fucking get.
I agree.
I don't know.
Was he wrong? I mean, yes, he was wrong during Brawl Out, but in wanting to make money off of it, I mean, that's fucking...
That's a really good question, because society as a whole has moved into a situation where you wouldn't take a situation like that and play off of it. Now, granted, professional wrestling is a completely different thing, But as society advances, you think wrestling advances. So at what point does it become not okay to make money off of backstage
But
shit?
I think
The problem is that the backstage shit is that's people want to see. Like the three of us would rather see that happen. Out.
The interesting thing about what you just said is that I think WWE still is in that mindset. I think they're still in that mindset of like the backstage shit. Let's bring it out in front and let people see that. But I think AEW is very much not. I think they want the performers, and we've commended them for this before. At least I have, that they put the performers first, and that if the performers aren't comfortable doing something, they're not going to force them to do it. If they're not comfortable coming back, with an injury, although there's conjecture about that with CM Punk, but anyway.
The part about that kind of bugs me is that's kind of the Bucks' MO, is they love doing all that. Is it real? Is it fake? Little nod and a wink. You're in on it. Everything, all that kind of stuff. And then with this one, they're all of a sudden like, no, we're not going to do this. And I think it was just them not wanting to do it just to spite him. Just a personal opinion on it.
I don't think so. I think you have two worlds colliding because Punk's kind of an old school guy.
Yeah.
And the Bucks are kind of new school.
Yeah.
And in modern day America, if you work with somebody that's Punk's age, like mid 40s, but you work with somebody that's like early 30s, they're completely different entities, and they have a different way of looking at the world. And I think the progressive I think that's a societal thing. And I think they just see the world different. I think they see you punched me and threw a chair at me and somebody got bit. I don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
And I fully understand that, but I also fully understand Punk's side of it. Like, we could make a lot of fucking money right now. Lot of fucking money.
I think the big difference here is that the boss, at the end of the day, is Tony Khan. If the boss at the end of the day were Vince McMahon, he would have told him to suck it up and do it. If it was Triple H, he would be telling him, suck it up and do it. You're working with this guy. I don't care if you don't like each other. But Tony Khan, I think, wants to protect his performers.
Makes for good TV.
Yeah. But it also makes for bitter talent.
That's a very good point though, because is that line of thinking correct? Because why should we make people do shit they don't want to do? Why should you work with somebody if you're not comfortable with them? Mm-hmm. I mean, I get both sides of it because we're like right in that middle of that line. Because like from a standpoint of wrestling, it's like the fans are going to eat this up and it's going to be big money. But then from like the personal side, it's like, no, fuck that guy. He fucking threw a chair in my head and punched me in the face. So how can I trust him to do anything he's supposed to do? So I get both sides of it.
From what I hear, it's not Punk who threw the chair. It was Leon. So
Leon
he should.
The chair.
Sorry, carry on.
Leon does have great. He has great disdain for the Young Bucks because they're more talented than he is. Yeah, I get both sides of it. I get both sides of it.
Yeah,
I really do. And if he's gonna go there, and we'll see. He's obviously gonna win the Rumble and fight Rollins.
That's what I think. Yeah,
I think it's inevitable.
And they're already setting up other guys.
Then at Mania 40, I want to know the only way to make Mania good is to give the belts to former AEW stars. That's all we got. WWE, come on. Riding AEW's coattails.
WWE make stars.
God, I hope that's the case. I hope that's what happens.
I know right now the online communities are both really toxic.
Yeah,
like unbelievable toxic.
Oh, I believe it.
I know I have just many reasons not to ever go on Reddit ever. But Squared Circle has been doing me well because I read the WWE shit and I'm like, okay, this is pretty reasonable. And then I read the AEW shit and I'm like, oh, this is pretty reasonable. And like they're conflicting to some extent, but they're not vitriolic. They're not like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you idiot?
Well, somebody had put a post about how AEW lost $637 million this year. And I was like, I don't think that's right.
I did
Then
read
someone
that.
someone was like, where did you get your number? Well, I heard from so and so. And then somebody's like, you made that number up. That's not a real number.
I did
I
hear
saw 34 million.
Yeah, I did hear somewhere that they are they're down this year, but not as bad as last year, and ultimately it doesn't matter. Like, because the I mean, it's like Tony Khan is making good money. Like, they're making good money for TBS. So, like, it doesn't matter.
Their pay-per-view numbers this year were crazy compared to the year before, and that's where they're going to make most of their money. That their television deal, obviously, that's going to be huge. But now that Punk went to WWE, now it's over because TNT is going to take Raw.
Okay, fine.
That would be so weird. 1999 me would have my mind blown if Raw was on fucking TNT. Be like, what? I don't know what to do with my life.
Let's put it on. Put it on a Tuesday. Why not?
The story that Meltzer has is WWE talked to Turner, and Turner said, we have no interest in you guys right now. That was it. Which sounds pretty accurate, because I think they've made a pretty heavy investment in AEW.
Yeah.
It'd be very odd for them to pull the plug. But
would be odd. Would be strange.
WWE talking to Turner does not help AEW's case of trying to get more money, though. Because they can be like, well, let's pay them. They're the number one leader in everything. We'll get them instead. So it kind of puts AEW in a bind.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what TBS is going for. TNT.
I hope not.
Turner. I think they want an original product. I think that's why they have AEW.
I think it's really hard to watch Collision still.
I mean, I would love to say that this week changed my mind, because I was really looking forward to
the show is fine.
I was really looking forward to Kenny Omega and Ethan Page,
but the show doesn't have some kind of hook, and I forget about it. Like every week, I forget about it, and then I'm like, it's like 9:05 on Saturday. I'm like, oh shit, I missed Collision every time. So it's just like, fuck it, whatever.
I remember on occasion. Yeah, the same problem is there's the same problem with Rampage. I'm not really sure what their direction is with either of those shows. Like, what is the intention? I don't know. What is their intention with ROH? Like,
I liked it when Leon was talking about Dynamite, how it used to have a different feel.
Yeah.
When Punk was there.
Yeah.
And I almost wish they would have kept that.
Yeah.
Just to make the show somehow different, because they've got to do something. Because otherwise, it's Dynamite with a different color scheme.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, pretty much the only thing that's different at this point is they do the little promos at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
For the most of the matches, and that's about it. Other than that, it's like you said, it's Dynamite with a different color scheme.
Yep. They got to do something different. I like Dynamite. I know a lot of people are knocking AEW for being. We don't have any stories. They just go out and wrestle, and they do just go out and wrestle. Then they put on these crazy ass fucking matches.
Oh God, yes.
And I think that's where the line is right now. Do you want to see really good matches, or do you want to see storylines?
I think
I'm not necessarily saying better storylines, but more storylines. Because WWE is obviously all about the storyline, and they have more long-term shit going. And I think AEW has a couple of big overarching storylines, but they don't have storylines for everybody like WWE does.
Yeah. Which is sometimes okay, and not sometimes it's not. Yeah. Because like you throw somebody in like Billie Starkz into a storyline like she's in right now, and that's interesting because you're invested in it. But if everybody has a storyline, then it becomes really fucking complicated to try and fold everybody else in. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it does.
But it's like it's convoluted, especially if none of them are connected in any way. Then you just have 122,000 storylines going on at once.
Kind of what WWE does.
Which is kind of what WWE does, and they rely on that stuff. And unfortunately, a lot of their stuff happens outside the ring, which is the stuff that we don't like. We don't want to watch that stuff. Like I don't want to watch Ethan Page have a shouting match with Kenny Omega for 7 weeks in a row, only for them to have a pay-per-view match that goes for 3.5 minutes and Kenny Omega beats the crap out of him. Like, I don't want to see that.
And then Ethan Page has to shave his butt hair off with a special razor.
Because why not? And then...
That's Vince, though. That's Vince. Vince likes things like that.
Goofy shit like that.
A little bit of ass cream.
Gotta have the ass cream.
Fuck.
They're really starting to. Those two companies are really starting to show their differences, and it's really noticeable for who likes what. I mean, if you want to watch a 5-star match, what channel are you gonna watch? You're gonna watch TBS. You're gonna watch Dynamite. If you want to watch, an over-the-top glitzy match that has a lot of bells and whistles, you're gonna watch Raw.
Yeah,
it's just the way they are. I don't think that's bad. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I'm AEW, I want to lean into that, and I want to be the alternative. And if I'm WWE, I want to lean into what I'm doing too, because shit, nobody's better than us at that. So
I mean, I'm kind of thinking that like CM Punk is the perfect example of that, because he came into AEW, and I think had he not spent all that time in WWE, maybe he would have been okay in AEW. But he's not that guy anymore. He's not that guy who can put on a 7-star match and tell a really intricate and awesome story. And he went back to WWE, and he's kind of doing what he did when he left WWE. And he's doing a great job. From all accounts, like he's doing a great job. Awesome. Keep at it. Same with Cody. Like I think Jade, I think they are where they should be because they have a different style. In the ring, I don't want to see Jade. Like Jade is fine. She's fine. But her matches were difficult to watch at times because she was awkward and she was
not ready.
She was not ready. And even not that, it was very sports entertaining. Like that's what she was going for. And that's great. But that's not AEW.
No, but it'll make her a lot of money in the E, and good for her.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I don't know. I wish we lived in a world where we could just sort that out and people could go where they needed to go.
Yeah.
But I think they'll end up there. What if this is all the work and Triple H and Tony Khan are working together and the devil turns out to be CM Punk? What would you do, bud?
You know what I would do? I would come on this podcast and I would go, I fucking knew it! As loud as I could. My kids would wake up and they'd be all pissed, but I'd shout at them too. Can't see it right now, but in my closet, I have a whole bunch of pictures of those three with like red string all over the place, news articles. You don't want to see it; it's ridiculous.
Gotta be true.
Just a tiny note, since you brought up Jade, I saw on her Instagram her mother passed away recently.
Just, I saw that too.
Condolences.
Yeah. Condolences.
Sounds like they're having her also train quite a bit.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably a good move. Good move for her.
Mm-hmm.
Because when she finally makes her debut, it'll be a big deal. But we knew she couldn't work. We all knew that.
Yeah.
And I think, it's interesting the way the fans are starting to kind of level themselves out. And it's almost like that late 80s where you had the gimmicky, cartoony shit in WWF. And the true wrestling fans were for WCW down south. Kind of got the same thing going again.
And that's fine.
I agree.
We don't need to. I think the only pitfall that one can fall into is when it becomes competitive. I don't think it needs to be competitive. We said this 1,000 times, but I'm going to say it again. This does not need to be competitive. AEW and WWE can exist simultaneously. Nobody needs to buy anybody out. We can have both products. And we should have both products. I want to see fucking wrestling. I don't want to see fucking wrestling. I mean, sometimes I do. But I don't want to see sports entertainment.
Taking a weird turn.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Ugh.
I don't think AEW is ready to compete with WWE either.
Yeah.
WWE's market share is too big.
Yeah.
Too much money. I mean, AEW's they just gotta keep doing what they're doing.
They've made great strides. They've done amazing things.
They've got to remember
years,
they've got to remember their identity and just kind of follow that.
Oh my god!
Did you watch Dynamite tonight?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Anything? Tony Storm on commentary was legendary.
Oh my god!
I was dying.
You're the Tasmaniac.
Her not believing that was Ruby Soho in the ring
because she didn't have green hair.
Ruby Soho.
That was
Ruby
amazing.
Soho has green hair.
Soho.
I don't know who this is.
I'm sort of bummed that she doesn't come out to Ruby Soho anymore. Does anybody know why that is?
Probably because it's a good reaction. She's a heel.
Fair, yeah.
But as I say that, I mean every time Jericho's been heel, he's still been coming out to Judas. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's because they're trying to lean into that.
Lars himself gave him permission to use Ruby Soho, so
I think they're trying to push into.
That's an issue.
I think they're trying to push into the situation with Cool Hand Ange and her and Saraya. That whole deal, I think they're trying to make something out of that.
That would be kind of cool. Kinda.
Because she's partners with Saraya, but she keeps going to him and whatnot. So
yeah.
The Saraya, I haven't seen Saraya in a while.
And she's kind of here every once in a while.
She's pretty much been showing up at those backstage segments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's doing producing. I think she would be good at that.
I think she would too.
But who knows? That's like the only... And it's down to 2 women. But that faction was really the only faction that had women in it. Which now I'm remembering is not true because they had the Dark Order had Anna Jay. I don't know if she's still there.
No, because she went to the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Which isn't even the Jericho Appreciation Society. I don't know if that's a faction anymore. Whatever. I don't know.
That one really fell apart with a whimper.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those guys are no better off than they were.
Yeah, Jericho kind of just left, and Jericho is still the center point somehow.
Yeah.
The other guys are kind of just there. Like, Cool Hand Ange and Matt Menard. Daddy Magic, that was his name. I mean, they're good. All of those guys are good. I don't know what you do with them. Especially if you're going to keep them together. It's just weird.
They're like, low-card goof heels.
Yeah.
That's really all they are. Except for Daniel Garcia.
I was just going to say that. They're bringing him up, especially with the Continental Classic.
Yeah.
Wait, he's not in it, is he?
Yeah, he is.
He is? Okay. Yeah, because he was saying he doesn't want to be the one to eat pins, and now I think he's
eating pins.
He's pretty much just eating pins.
Kind of like the Briscoe brother tonight. Ate another one.
Froggy Bo.
This just
he's hard to book.
He is, yeah.
Because I love the Briscoes, but he's a little limited in the ring.
Yeah.
And I think he's even more limited as a character because I think they played off each other so well. Now he doesn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
They should have brought the Briscoes up when they had the chance, but TNT told them, no way.
I also
maybe he turns heel.
Perhaps. I don't know. I kind of dig him as like this godfathery weirdo. I don't know. Like he just feels like a guy who's just always been there. Which
I wish they were doing a little more with him.
Yeah. I think he'll find his place, one way or the other. I could see him as a heel, but I could see him as just being like the floaty face that just goes from storyline to storyline. A good hand, as it were.
Yep.
Like Ethan Page or somebody else. I'm
Sometimes
sure.
I feel like Ethan Page could be
He'd
so
be like,
much
no more BS, and just
I feel like
face or
Ethan
heel as needed.
Page.
That's true.
I feel like
That's true.
I feel like Ethan Page could be so much more, and then I like watch him work, and I'm like, maybe not. I just never get a good feel for him. I never get the vibe on him. Like he has a look, he can cut the promo, but there's like some about him. I'm just like, okay, I see why he's not making that climb. I don't know what it is.
I think he's good in the ring. He like for me falls in the same sort of like bucket as Sean Spears. Like
Yeah.
very good, very talented, but there's I don't know if it's just that they're not getting behind them or if it's that they just don't fit anywhere in AEW except in the position where they're at. I don't know.
Just get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
That's how he feels.
They do. They have a gigantic roster. It's so like there are so many people who are getting lost in the shuffle, which is just that's frustrating. I think that's one of the most frustrating parts about AEW right now is they have such a big roster, and I'm looking at them like, oh, I'd love to see them more, but when the fuck is that ever going to happen?
They don't have space for it.
They don't. And Tony,
they started to trim some of the fat.
Yeah. I think they need to be more active about that, though.
He doesn't want to fire people. I get it.
I mean, yeah. But farm them out, then. Like, farm them out to TNA, farm them out to NWA, farm them out to these other companies that you have contacts with, so that they can make their AEW paycheck and then because I mean those guys are not getting a substantial AEW paycheck, especially if they're not on TV. Farm them out to TNA Impact and then
let them do something.
Yeah, which I know they
I don't
can.
think they have that. They don't have that relationship with TNA Impact anymore.
Yeah, they do.
That kind of died.
They do because they have Will Ospreay is fighting at TNA Impact. Somebody else was too. They have a few of their guys going over to TNA Impact. It's not as pronounced as it was with Kenny Omega.
I thought that dropped. I thought they stopped doing that, but okay.
I don't think so.
No, yeah, Ospreay and Okada are going to be at a show here.
Where's Okada going to go? Who's he going to sign with?
I'm going to go check that one out. Huh?
Who's Okada going to sign with?
I think he's going to stay with Japan.
I don't know.
I would be shocked if he went anywhere else. Bet. I don't.
To the E, he'll go.
I think Okada likes his spot.
Yeah, he's seen what they've done with Knock, and he's just going to jump right in there.
Yeah.
The only thing is they're going to be able to pay a lot of money.
With fucking Impact.
Don't mind me. I'm just dying. I mean,
They'll pay him $3.5 million a year, and he'll go.
I could see him going to WWE for a lighter, like not for a lighter schedule, but for a lighter workload, like because they are not as stiff in the WWE. They have a lot more banned moves, but Okada is still good in the ring. So like, I don't see why he would. I don't know. Take another contract and then be done, or not. I don't know. He seems the Antonio Inoki type to keep doing it until he dies.
He's fucking young.
He is, yeah. How old is he?
He only just turned, what, 34?
Well, I thought 36.
He just had his birthday recently. He was like 34, 36 maybe. I want to say 34.
It could have been.
Like, he's fucking young as hell for as long as he's been cranking out 5-star matches.
Yeah.
Eric Bischoff said matchmaking systems don't exist. You can't rate anything, it's stupid, according to Eric. That's why WCW never got a 5-star match.
Yeah, that's why.
WCW never did? Really?
Not when Eric was...
Oh, but, well, I mean... fucking... Like, Eddie and Ray didn't get one or anything like that? God damn.
Kurt Angle never got a 5-star match.
Yeah.
Fucking,
ever.
That's insane.
Ever.
I feel like I heard a story at one point that Dave Meltzer just started doing that for like his own, like for his own benefit, and somebody learned about it, that he was doing it, so that's why it came out. Like that's when they started printing them or releasing them or whatever, like an editor or something. I don't know. I sort of feel like you can rank a match, but that doesn't mean that a 3-star match is absolute dog shit.
Yeah. He did give a match a negative 3 stars once.
I feel like
It
I've
was
seen.
It was a Mabel match, I believe. There's a couple that have gotten really. Just shit you go back and watch and you're like, yeah, that was bad. Nothing good about that match. King of the Ring 95 as a whole. Bad show.
I remember
SummerSlam
that, but I
95.
don't remember it.
The main match was Mabel fighting Savio Vega, and then he beat him in like 4.5 minutes to become the King of the Ring.
I do remember
and in that 4.5 minutes, he used like 14 rest holds. Including a nerve lock, which is my all-time favorite.
It's a good one.
I'm so tired of putting my hand here.
Savio.
Oh.
Oh, good lord.
Chokes
not a
and
good
splashes and
not a
slams.
good
Oh
not a
my.
good card. Not a good card.
I remember they made a big deal out of that too. They made a big deal out of King Mabel, and then it just
They
kind of
pushed him as an unstoppable monster, and then he fought Diesel at SummerSlam like 2 months later, and it was the worst fucking main event ever. Ever.
I can imagine.
This is not surprising.
And Mabel
think I've
managed
seen
to
that
hurt
one in-
Diesel. Oh, it's so fucking bad. It is so fucking bad. None of what Diesel did in the ring was good during that run because they had him miscast as a babyface hero. If they would have kept him as a cool heel fucking people up, he would have been great. But they turned him face, and then it was just, he's got to have monsters because it's Hulk Hogan. And it completely bombed.
Shocking.
To the surprise of no one.
I was surprised.
That was actually the same SummerSlam where that wasn't the main event. That was the co-main event. The main event was Undertaker versus Underfaker.
Oh my god, I remember that. I don't think I watched it directly. I think I watched like the clips
Purple
afterwards.
versus gray.
Oh my
I
god.
remember the first time they brought that fake Undertaker out, and I was like not paying attention. I'm like, wow, did he get shorter and smaller? Then I look, I'm like, that's not even the same fucking face. And that was targeted at us. We were like 10.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, this is stupid. This isn't.
Oh.
Then the real Undertaker stands next to him. And you're like, yeah, he's about 4 inches taller. He's just a lot bigger. He's got more tattoos. Like, what the fuck, guys? That was terrible.
They'll never know. Stupid kids.
They knew. They knew.
We knew. We were too smart for our own good.
That's a bad show.
Oh, good lord.
I think Shawn Michaels fought like Jeff Jarrett there. No, he fought Razor Ramon in a ladder match rematch of WrestleMania 10 and 1. That's what he did.
Was that the holding Vince up for $100,000 one?
Shawn?
No, Double J.
No, that was when he lost the belt to China.
That's okay.
Yay,
Double J
China.
wasn't in that match. I think Double J was later because Shawn beat him later. Or before that, I can't remember, but I know that he fought Razor at that SummerSlam. And it was fine. Not as good as the first one. That's a really bad show you should all go watch. SummerSlam 95.
Okay.
Plunk that fucker in right after WrestleMania 9.
I'm going to turn it on now. No, I'm not.
Cheers to insomnia.
I was going to
Why
say
would you do these things to us, Town?
I'm already half asleep.
That's one of those shows that's just like bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was booked poorly. The matches don't look good on paper. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Other than big guy beats big guy, everyone smile. Just bad. Like WrestleMania 32, in my opinion, is worse because it could have been better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They cannibalized the whole show for one guy. Then it didn't work out in the end. But that's a hard question. Worst WrestleMania of all time.
Oh,
It's a 9
Jeez
or it's
Louise.
32. What do you think, Leon? 9 or 32?
Remind me who
Or a
headlined
different
9? Or what headlined 9?
Bret Hart versus Yokozuna, and then Hulk Hogan versus Yokozuna, where he beat them in 9 seconds.
I remember that. Again, I don't think I watched it, but I remember it. I think WrestleMania 32 was the one that I like popped my head in for a moment, and I got in like an hour and a half while I was folding laundry, and I was like, "This fucking sucks." Was that the one with Was that the one with Trips on the bike?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it.
Yeah.
Like I watched AJ Styles and whoever the fuck he fought on that one.
Was it Jericho?
And I was like, this was good.
And then he lost to Jericho,
Yeah.
and it was like a good match, but it was like, why did AJ Styles lose? He's like the hottest guy in the company. Yeah. Roman is why.
Because he's a TNA boy.
I think they're over that, no?
Oh, it could be either one.
Part of their whole having people lose initial, like their first match, just to see how they react to it. See if they get boo-boo face.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always the best move, though.
Oh, I'm not arguing that at all. I'm just, from, so long of listening to Pritchard and everything.
The fans will get boo-boo face.
It's a pretty standard thing for them. It's one thing that Vince really liked to do.
Well, they did the same thing to Sting, and that wasn't a smart idea either.
No, for sure.
Hold on, Sting. Well, yeah, never mind. I was gonna be like, seriously, they did that?
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, and of course they did.
He came in and lost to Trips at Mania.
Yeah. Trips needed the win.
Which was confusing. That match was so confusing all around. The NWO came out and helped Sting. It's like, did you guys watch the product before you put this together? No.
Why? Did he end up joining them at some point?
Yeah, but the whole main gist of WCW was Sting versus the NWO.
He was in the he was in the Wolfpack version. So like an offshoot.
It was pretty much just to have
the Wolfpack was a bunch of out of style dads trying to act like cool hip hop gangsters. That's what the Wolfpack was. That's a gimmick.
I mean, Conan was kind of cool. But yeah, Sting.
Watch your background to Wolfpack.
Nash. Who else was in it? Was Hall in it?
No. He was in NWO Hollywood.
Oh, that's right.
Luger was in it.
Oh God,
Luger, Sting.
I forgot Luger was in it. He was like a sore thumb. He did not fit in there at all.
No, it wasn't the best. The Wolfpack wasn't the best.
The LWO, however.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the LWO. Because it did not, it was so fucking ridiculous.
Absurd.
I don't remember who was. Eddie was in that. I feel like Ray was in it. Psychosis.
Ray was in it, and they gave him a 5X shirt.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how big I think your heart is. I remember Eddie telling him that.
Oh, Eddie.
Eddie, my face.
I feel like that was to his WCW run what the SAS was to CM Punk's initial WWE run. I feel like Eddie was flying under the radar, and he's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. And it fucking worked. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yep. Could you imagine what would have happened if WCW would have actually ran with those guys in late '99? The Benoit, the Guerrero, the Malenko, those guys giving him a shot. Holy fuck!
They might still be around.
They would.
Those guys killed it in the WWE, but they were in a field of guys who were already established, and Vince didn't want to bring them up because they were WCW guys. So even Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, they got world title shots, but the company never really got behind them. Not super hard. Except for maybe Ray. Ray was there for a long time.
If they could have ran with those guys back then, that would have been something.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few things I always look back on that, and then Goldberg. They wouldn't have fucked up Goldberg.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things, they should have given Goldberg Jericho. They should have made more out of that feud, and let the match actually happen where Jericho keeps fucking pissing off Goldberg and running away. Then finally he gets him. Could beat him in a minute and a half. It wouldn't fucking matter. It would have made Goldberg bigger. Would have made Jericho bigger.
Yeah.
You know,
I would agree.
They had so many guys in that company that were just right there, so close.
Mm-hmm.
They never ran with them. And they're out of business because of that.
Well, I think it's more that...
But we got to see Ric Flair kiss a donkey's ass thanks to Dusty Rhodes on
Jesus
one of the last
Christ.
Nitros. That legitimately happened.
I don't remember that, but I believe it.
That was like the fourth to last Nitro or
Oh,
something.
good lord.
I flipped it on to see what was going on at the end, and there it was Dusty Rhodes pushing Ric Flair's ass into a donkey. I'm like, what the fuck?
The precursor to the Kiss My Ass Club.
Not so good.
Potentially, yeah.
Not so good.
And TNA...
WCW was... God, what a fucking disappointment.
Yeah, but also, I mean, the writing was on the wall for a long, long time with them.
Yeah, but don't you think they could have turned it around?
They could have, if they had listened to their
I
fans.
mean, they had the people to do it. You know,
I mean, Bischoff had such a hard-on for the NWO that he drove it into the ground, and then once it was in the ground, he drove it farther into the ground. Like,
they revived it so he could drive back into the ground.
at the very least, Vince was smart enough to see that the shit he was doing wasn't working and tried something else.
Yep.
Eric did not have that foresight, which is why they got rid of him and replaced him with Vince Russo, I think, was first. Good lord. What a terrible idea. Oh.
I mean, it was and it wasn't.
Good for the WWF.
Yeah.
It was and it wasn't, because a lot of his ideas the WWE wasn't using, but they were using them filtered.
Yeah.
You know? And he had a much different way of looking at the business, which is what sucked everybody in. But without somebody to tell him that's a stupid idea, yeah, not so good.
When a lot of his
That's
stuff was
just let
dated.
him run unchecked is
A lot of this stuff.
I don't think it was dated. I think it was just stupid.
No,
And it was.
I would say it was dated because a lot of the stuff that he was doing was like very similar to the same shit that he was doing in WWE. Like,
vulgar for no reason.
Yeah, I can remember I can remember many times watching WCW and being like, they did this already on WWF. Like, this is the exact same thing. You just replace the wrestlers.
They started calling Booker T the book.
Oh god. It's the bookend.
The book. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, that was so bad. I try to forget about that. But, wow. AEW is not that bad, people.
No, it's really not. It's really not. And I think we're past I really think that we're past the age of like, well, maybe we're not. But I don't think that AEW is ever going to reach the point where it's going to get bought out. Because Ted Turner went into the wrestling business because he wanted to make money. Tony Khan went into the wrestling business because he likes wrestling.
Yeah, Ted went in because he was butthurt that Vince wouldn't sell to him.
Yeah. I did not know that.
It was something to that effect.
I just remember...
And that's why he went after fucking...
Those two walked into a room and met each other, and then they should have just said, my dick's bigger than yours. No, my dick's bigger. No, my dick's bigger. This is a dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
At that point, it would have been Ted.
That led to a 20-year war.
Yuck.
Oh.
Old man dick. Ugh.
Oh, what an interesting night. This is the weirdest podcast we've ever had.
Yeah, it is.
That's saying something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do we have anything? Like, do we
No.
literally have anything to talk about?
We kind of just droned on. I thought that we would be ending this like 30 minutes ago. I didn't think we would have this much content.
We're talking about old man dicks.
And old man dicks, yeah.
All right. I think that's our cue to send it home.
This has
Bud
been
Robinson, that is the town historian.
yeah, what he said. Bye.
Old man dick.
Now that would have been a good gimmick.